Hello everyone, today we are going to replace the electronics, the whole electronics on the Feiyue FY06 because you might have seen my previous video, which I'm going to link somewhere here. The electronics from the original model, first the ESC lost some of its functions like going reverse, then it didn't went forward, then replaced the ESC just to run it a few more times, and the original motor gave up in a big smoke. And then I've decided to get the upgraded electronics kit, which I've presented earlier, and now I'm going to replace the electronics and see if the car will run better, or at least run longer this time than it did the first. To remove the chassis, you are going to need a hex key. Size is, if you want to see the size of my, I don't know if you can see that, that's a number 2 hex key or Allen key. It's not Torx. And to take the cover off, we are going to start from underneath, so we are going to undo these two first screws here. And I'm going to place them in kind of the same position in regards to the car, because they are different in size, and that's how I remember from where I have took them off. So front will be here, 2 screws. Then we need to take off the 4 screws here, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Then we have 2 more screws here, but these are 1.5, so you need to replace the hex key with 1.5. And I'm going to take this one off. The 2 screws, I don't know if you can see them. It's here, you can see it, this one, and the other one next to it, there. I'm also going to remove these to have more space, and now we can check here. You can see the 2 screws that I have released. Those connect the frame to these parts, and you can take these and go over it, but the case the cover is not coming off because it also has 2 more screws here, and those are number 2. And now theoretically I should be able to try to remove the cover. So I'm going to pull this a bit off, and it comes out. And same on this side here. And let's see, is it something that it's keeping this on place? Now it's going over here. And I think there is still something hanging from the chassis. Have to check. Yes, that's a hidden screw there, and another one there, and there's no way I can remove them without removing the side here. And the cover is 1.5, so I'm going to replace the bit again, and maybe I can go easy with just removing this one and forcing this a bit. Nope, I don't have access, so I need to remove the side panel here with lots of screws held in place, but these are the same type. Maybe I can remove these also and not remove the front ones. So this one, and this one, and now yes, I might have access here, and yes, I do have, and I'm going to loosen this up until it goes out. out. I'm going to put it here, and I have to do the same on the other side. So yet again, these 3 screws. And this one. And now this one that keeps the body of the chassis. And I'm going to keep it together with this one. And now we have the chassis off, and we can see the damage here. Because I'm definitely going to lose the screws, I'm going to use my wow pad here, and I'm going to group them just like that, because this is a magnetic pad. So these are from the side of the chassis. I'm going to put them that way, and these are the central ones, and these are the front ones, and the clip all held together. And I'm going to put them away so I have more room on the desk here to work on. So now I'm going to pull the old electronics. Alright, and I'm going to disconnect the old receiver, which was working last time. It was the single thing still working on this, and the servo. And that's the other ESC, and the motor is definitely different, so maybe this one is really upgrade. I don't know, it has a plane on it, maybe the car will fly. Okay, and now I have to release this screw here, and I think that's a number 2. Let's check this. Yes, it's a number 2. And does it go out? Not yet. I'm going to loosen this up. Nope, the motor is not coming out, so I'm going to remove the cover to see what's keeping it in place. And also we'll see the state of the gears. So the gears are fine. This is not in place because was removed at some time, so I need to loosen this up a bit more and see if it comes out with the adapter. So it's still not going out, so I'm going to remove completely the metal brace from the top of it. It has 3 screws, very long screws. Number 1, number 2, and yes, it's now coming with the motor. And there you go, because the motor is mounted on this thing to adjust the space between the cogging. Now I have to remove the pinion and to remove the 2 screws that hold the adjustment plate so I can take it off. So the motor has a screw somewhere here, and I think that's a number 1.5. Let's try that. Yes, it's a 1.5. Pinion is out, and now I think the adapter plate is number 2.0. Yes, it's a 2.0. And the old motor is now out, and I don't know if you can see that, but there are some black signs there from where the smoke came out. Alright, so it's time to put the new motor in, and the upgraded motor, look at that, it's actually smaller than the original one. This should be interesting, as this is upgraded. I keep calling it upgraded. and we'll see how this will fit there better. And because the hole of the motor is here, through which the pinion will be out, and this should be in contact with that spur gear there, probably the position of this will be somehow that way, and being that way I want to see where the wires are going. I want them up and not in that side because they will hit here, and not on this side because the chassis, the case is very close to the end here. So that's kind of the position I would like. So the hole in that direction, wires up, and that lines up this way, and happily the screws match this position. I'm not going to make them too tight right now. I'm just doing a test. So putting up the pinion, and pinion has 1.5, and let's see, where is the notch? There is the notch. Alright, and this will go here. Of course we need this to be adjusted also more close to the spur gear, and the wire is in the worst position as possible, as it's on the side here, so it's not like I wanted it to be, but the motor is not in the right position yet. Let's see, now it's in the position, so it's not okay. I'm going to try to rotate the motor 90 degrees so the wires will be upwards. So if this stays like this, I need to rotate it that way. So let's see if that works out or not, or if I'm making any sense. And next line up is here. Okay. But the problem is that in this position the motor shaft will hit this, and there's no other hole that will match, so looks like it's a tough choice to get the position right. Let's see if I rotate it that way. How this should end up. I'm going to use just one screw, put the pinion back, something like this, and if I put the motor here, let's see how okay, I'm going to adjust the motor pinion depth, so that should do it. And now let's see if I can rotate this into position. So it's too far away, and that's too far away also. Let's see if I rotate this the other way around. That way the wires will hit the lower part, the bottom part of the chassis, so it's not doing right. And regardless of how I rotate this, I'm going to end up with the wires poking to the side, which probably is the last solution possible. And I'm going to try to bend them that way, and hopefully they won't get damaged by the soft chassis here.
Okay, so that's the position, that's the single way I can install this. And now it's time to secure things up, so I'm going to remove the pinion again. Then I'm going to line up the holes here, and I'm going to use thread locker, and the best one, of course, pink nail polish. Why nail polish? Because it's my favorite. It's not strong, it doesn't jam too hard like Wltoys does, so on cheap models this is very good. Why pink? Because that was what I had in home, indoor right now, so don't tell my wife that. So I have here something to apply, very good professional grade, and now I can put this screw here, and now I can also put thread locker on this one, special edition, pink edition. Just a tiny amount because it's enough. And now I'm going to install this, and that's secured. Now I'm going to do the same with the pinion, so I'm going to install it somewhere around here, and I'm going to apply a small amount of nail polish on the screw, and I'm going to install this back. But now we need to be careful because we haven't adjusted the place where it should stay, so I'm going to put this here and going to push it until it's lined up with the spur gear. So I want it a bit more backward. Need to change the screw head. You need to move quickly because nail polish will harden. And that's the position I wanted it to be in. Okay, and now I have to tighten this up, and now this one is secured also. Everything looks fine, doesn't mess with the motor. You need to be careful with these two screws. If you use other screws than the one provided, and if they are too long, they can go into the motor and destroy the windings, so take care with that. And now all I have to do is to shim this, and to do that I'm going to use a piece of paper like the old days, and I'm going to insert the paper between the gears, and now I'm going to try to adjust the offset here. It's kind of jammed in. Okay, so that the paper is really squeezed between the gears. But I'm also going to install the bracket here. Hopefully I will be able to install it. Time to change the screwdriver again. Number 2. Okay, and now I'm going to try to make it as close as possible. Alright, and I'm going to squeeze the bracket here. Let's see how the paper comes out rather easy. Is there play? There is a tiny amount of play. Let's see how the paper goes in again. It goes rather nice. So looks to be in the right order. Alright, so the motor is now fixed. I have tightened this up and it's now secured. And I'm going to apply some new grease here. I'm going to use a highly advanced tool to apply grease, my finger. And I'm going to put some here. And now I'm going to spin the motor a bit. And also put more on the spur here. It's interesting that although the car was very dirty, and I've used this in water and mud and sand and grass, actually you can see some of the video reviews. I'm going to link them here somewhere if I don't forget to do that. You're going to see that the car has been abused pretty good and still held up for a long period of time before the ESC went bad and the motor went bad. So it's an okay car. But what I wanted to say is that it's interesting that after all that abuse, the grease, original grease from the motor was still clean because of this cover, and it closes pretty fine, and it didn't have a lot of dirt in. And now I can put the cap back and secure it into place and put the screw back. That keeps the cover closed. That's nice. Alright, and let's do a small test. So I'm going to put this on a stand. So I'm going to connect the battery. ESC is alive, so it was turned on. And transmitter is on. And now the famous stand. I'm going just to keep it that way. And it's working. And I need to check if the brake is on, because it feels like it stops right away. And now time to fix up the electronics. So I'm going to use some adhesive velcro for the ESC, which will go somewhere here, something like that. Then I'm going to disconnect my test servo from here, this one, and I'm going to put the original one. And now let's see if this works. The receiver will stay here like it originally did, but I'm going to replace this because it doesn't stick anymore. So let's see, will it work? Power on, transmitter on. We also have steering, and we have reversed throttle, and that's easy to sort. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to change the wires. And let's test it now again. So I'm going to turn it back on, transmitter on, and it's still working reversed. So I'm going to change the wires again, this one and this one. Let's see if now it does the job. So reconnect it. And now I have backward and forward working as it should. Right. Now I'm going to remove this old pad here. Which has dried out. Alright. And I'm going to clean this a bit from the large amounts of dust. And I'm going to use some new double-sided sticky tape for the receiver. And I'm going to remove the part here. I should have done that before putting it on the final resting place. Okay, and now where's my receiver at? There it is. I'm going to put this with the antenna, doesn't matter in which way. I'm going to put it towards the center, right? And now I have to do something with the wires, and I'm going to route them like that. And these ones should sit somewhere like that. And this power on off connector, I don't know if it's going to sit here or I'm going to put it with some double-sided tape somewhere closer to the battery box so I can switch it on off easier. We'll see about that. Alright, and the on off will stay probably here, and that should be easy to access. And now it's time to put the chassis back. And now the easy part, so I'm going to put the cover back. And now you need to take care with some things such as these parts here that need to line up with the holes in this, and these ones that should line up with this, and that's mostly the important stuff. So we need to get this to go in. Sorry when I was telling you to line up with these two, not with these two. And you also have to make it go over the wire here, which it seems that it does. Alright, and same here. So it's lining up as it should. I will start with the top ones here. And now the side ones here. And the 4 main screws underneath. So that's how you do it. That's how you replace the electronics and the motor on the Feiyue FY06. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Be sure to follow my next uploads, and until then, see you and bye bye.